friends. I was mighty sad to leave them. I ran that dark, hot night. I ran looking for my freedom. I ran to the woods, I ran through the woods, with those slave catchers right behind me. I ran till I got to the north, where those mean men couldn't find me. I went back to the south 19 times to get 300 others. 19 times I went back to save my black sisters and my black brothers. I didn't take no stuff, and I wasn't scared of nothing neither. I didn't come in this world to be no slave, and wasn't gonna die one either. So you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Cause I walk like I got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like the moon and the stars and the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head, lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, cause I laugh like I got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I got diamonds at the meetings of my thighs? Out of the huts and history of shame, I rise into a past that's rooted in pain. I rise. I am a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind the nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of a slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. I am Harriet Tubman.
Leadership in Maryland on that issue. And I want to thank the entire Maryland State Conference, PG County branch, Baltimore branch, all the branches really pitched in to get that done. This is a big deal for us. You know, when you talk about abolishing the death penalty, first civil rights leader to really make it a priority was Frederick Douglass. And then other great Marylanders, Thurgood Marshall, Juanita Mitchell, continued to fight. Indeed, Juanita's son, Clarence II, or Clarence III, introduced a bill 50 years ago to abolish the death penalty. So when we finish these old, long, big fights, we just have to take a moment and realize we have built another milestone on our journey. But it's a real honor to be with you today at this Youth and College Luncheon. I want to thank Daquan, Love. But I gotta tell you that I'm jealous of your last name. I'd rather be Mr. Love than Mr. Jealous, I just gotta tell you. I want to thank Sizoba Ukairo for her leadership. I also want to thank our board members. I see Don Cash and Deborah Brown are here. Lorraine Miller, I know, was here but had to leave. And I would like to announce, those of you who aren't aware, that Coach Ortiz, the great president of the DC State Conference, got engaged last night. Of course, Reverend Young is doing a great job in Virginia. Guys, I couldn't have missed this for two reasons. As you all know, my family has belonged to the NAACP in this region now for 6 generations. My grandmother's grandfather first joined down in Dinwiddie County at the beginning of the last century. My grandmother watched the kids while living in the McCullough Homes housing projects in Northwest Baltimore for Juanita Mitchell. She did her NAACP duties. My mom desegregated Western High School in Baltimore in 1955. Baltimore delayed. And now I'm raising my daughter in Silver Spring. The work we do here is important. In this region, the smallest region in the country, is one of the mightiest. This year, you can please give yourselves a round of applause. This past year, 2012, what do you think about what we accomplished together across the entire country? And here we are living through the greatest assault on voting rights. More states passing more laws, pushing more voters out of the ballot box than we have seen in any period in a century. And we will be measured about how we respond to this moment. And the NAACP, Quentin James out there, thank you, Quentin, for your leadership, rightfully honored today. The NAACP rose to the challenge, defeating voter suppression laws this past year in at least 15 states. Registering almost 4 times as many voters as we did in 2008, pushing out to the polls more than twice as many as we did in 2008. 432,000 new voters and more than 1.2 million new and unlikely voters pushed to the polls. And I see Margaret Randolph back there, who was our great field general in that effort. Also of Virginia. And none of that would have been possible without the volunteers in this room. We all played our part. But let me also be really clear that Virginia was the first state to get a Republican governor to stand up and say no to a strict photo ID law. And that was critical in demonstrating to the country that this is not a partisan issue, this is an extremist fixation. And McDonald standing up and saying, if you send me one of those laws, I will veto it, was important in, for instance, creating a possibility for us to go to the governor of Michigan, Rick Snyder, when he had not stood up early and said, you got 4 voter suppression bills on your desk, including a strict photo ID law. This is an extremist thing. It is not a Republican thing. Yes, we know that your convention's coming up in a couple of weeks. But why don't you give Governor Bob McDonnell a call and talk to him about it? And he did, and he vetoed all 4 of those bills. So your leadership here in this region counts. Yesterday, the first state south of the Mason-Dixon to abolish the death penalty. Last year, the first Republican governor to stand up to voter suppression, this new wave. Next year, let's get something done. Let's move the ball forward on voting rights in D.C. This is a region that makes miracles happen. You guys have done it. We have done it for 104 years. And we're doing it right now. And so I'm not going to stay long, but I did want to stop by and just say thank you. Thank you for your courage, your tenacity, but mostly thank you for being effective and setting the bar higher and higher. God bless you, and God bless our great NAACP. Thank you.